Chosen one. November 7th is your day. Listen, November 7th is not an ordinary date on the calendar. It is written in divine alignment, a sequence that carries the pulse of destiny moving through time. Today, the universe itself bends toward your name. Every event, every breath, every unseen hand has been drawing together for this moment. The shift that has been promised. The timing that has been whispered to your spirit in dreams and quiet moments. It unfolds now. November 7th is your day. The day where hidden things come to light. The day where what was sealed for seasons is finally opened by the command of God. You might have felt it in your chest, that unexplainable stirring, that sense that something unseen has been circling closer. It wasn't your imagination. The heavens have moved in your favor. Watch this video until the end. The energy of this day is alive through every word. And in the comments, write your warmest wishes and write Amen along with the number 777. This is more than a gesture. It is a spiritual ignition. Wishes carry vibration, and when the chosen gather with unified intention, the universe listens. It is how divine energy multiplies, how miracles find their coordinates. What you write, what you release here, carries power that returns to you in the form of fulfilled prayers and opened doors. Now, chosen one, press the hype button and like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. November 7th is your day because it is the day that light finds the place it has been sent to illuminate. It's the hour when your name echoes in heavenly courts. The waiting you endured, the delay that tested you, the quiet seasons where nothing moved. God has decided to reverse them in one sweep. You are stepping into a current stronger than resistance. Every prayer that hung in the air now gathers weight. Every promise that seemed to float in delay now finds form. The timeline shifts, not because of luck or chance, but because divine permission has been granted. There is something about this day that connects deeply with the vibration of completion. Things that began long ago finally find their conclusion here. You have crossed the invisible line between endurance and reward. For a long time, you have been walking through preparation disguised as disappointment. You wondered why doors closed, why people disappeared, why opportunities dissolved at the edge of your effort. It was not rejection. It was redirection. God was protecting the alignment of this day. If you had succeeded before now, the reward would not have held the depth of meaning it carries today. November 7th carries the essence of divine ripeness. It is when the fruit finally softens enough to release its sweetness. It is when God looks at your spirit and says, "Now." The waiting was never about delay. It was about perfect synchronization with divine movement. Everything before today was a setup for what unfolds in this very timeline. The signs were around you, synchronicities, repeating numbers, dreams you couldn't explain. Some of them were subtle, others impossible to ignore. The wind itself seemed to speak your name. You might have noticed your intuition growing sharper, your awareness deepening, your energy shifting without knowing why. That was the universe preparing your field for manifestation. November 7th is the convergence point. The things you once chased now begin to chase you. The frequencies of abundance, recognition, restoration, they have located you. You no longer need to reach outward for what has already been magnetized toward you. God has encoded your name into the blessing. No one else can take what was written for you. Everything you have endured up to this point Every betrayal, every season of scarcity, every night you felt forgotten was fuel for this rise. It's not a metaphor. The universe operates on energy exchange. Your pain became currency. Your patience became capital. What you poured into faith during your lowest moments has matured into divine investment. And today, November 7th, the return begins. You don't have to strive for it. You don't have to prove yourself for it. God already accounted for every ounce of endurance. What's unfolding now is not reward for effort. It is the manifestation of divine promise. The heavens are not deciding if it will happen. They have already declared, it is done. There is an energy moving in silence around you right now. You might not see it, but you can feel it, like warmth rising under your skin, like a vibration humming through your environment. That's the pulse of divine orchestration. It's the signal that the invisible has already started to rearrange the visible. Situations that were frozen are beginning to move. People who forgot you will remember your name as if something has awakened in their memory. Opportunities that were locked will swing open as if they were never closed. This is not coincidence. It's divine recall. The hand of God is rewriting the script of your life in real time. November 7th marks the page where everything changes. You might have thought that your story was slowing down, that life was quieting into repetition. But this is not the end of a chapter. It's the threshold of a miracle. God doesn't move in noise. He moves in patterns. He waits until the silence is deep enough for His voice to carry without interference. That's why you felt alone before now. He was clearing the atmosphere so you could finally hear Him. And when He speaks, creation responds. The wind moves, time bends, and destiny realigns. You have entered that moment. Every cell in your body has felt the call. That inner urge to prepare, that restlessness that made no sense. It was the frequency of divine command pulling you toward your appointed time. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where God intended you to be when the seal broke on this hour. November 7th carries the signature of justice. What was unfairly taken will return multiplied. What was withheld will pour freely. What was spoken against you will become testimony for you. There's a cosmic reversal unfolding. What was meant to harm you will now serve your purpose. The energy that once opposed you now fuels your momentum. The universe is under divine instruction to favor you. The delays weren't punishment. They were positioning. And now every element that once resisted you must participate in your rise. Look closely at your surroundings. You'll notice subtle shifts, messages arriving at the right time, unexpected encounters, a sense of peace replacing anxiety. That's not random. It's divine confirmation. It's God whispering, I told you this was your day. The world responds to divine timing through synchronicity. Everything begins to echo your readiness. Doors open without knocking. Ideas flow without effort. Provision appears without pursuit. It's not a coincidence. It's spiritual architecture unfolding as planned. November 7th isn't simply marked by time. It's marked by purpose. And you, chosen one, are the vessel through which this day finds its meaning. You might wonder why this date, why now? Because your spirit has matured into capacity. You are no longer the person who once prayed out of desperation. You now declare from authority. You have evolved from asking to aligning. That is the shift God has been preparing you for. When the heart and the divine plan become one rhythm, creation must obey. November 7th represents the moment where heaven's rhythm synchronizes with your heartbeat. That's why everything feels different. That's why this day carries a weight of inevitability. It's not that something might happen, it's that something must happen. In the unseen realms, this day has been highlighted for months, even years. Angels have been stationed in advance, aligning connections, clearing obstacles, and protecting what belongs to you. The prayers you thought were unanswered were actually being built into bridges for today. Every delay was construction. Every closed door was insulation. Every detour was guidance disguised. And now, when you look back, you will realize that every route you took was a perfect turn toward this alignment. November 7th is not the beginning. It's the unveiling of what has been long prepared. The divine blueprint reaches manifestation now. If you feel emotional right now, it's because your spirit recognizes this truth. You're not hearing words, you're feeling prophecy becoming reality. This is what divine timing feels like when it finally arrives. It humbles the mind and lifts the heart. Everything slows down so that you can witness it consciously. God wants you to be present for your own miracle. He doesn't want you to miss the wonder of His precision. That's why this message reached you today, and not before. This is not coincidence. It's appointment. The word found you because it belongs to you. And as you receive it, something in the spiritual realm locks into place, permanently. November 7th carries vibration of release. The kind of release that doesn't trickle, it floods. When divine energy decides to move, nothing can stop it. That's the energy hovering now. It's a spiritual surge, a breaking point, where what was compressed by delay bursts into manifestation. You will notice acceleration in the coming hours and days. Things that once took years to build will begin forming in moments. People who doubted you will witness sudden transformation. It will feel like a dream, but it will be real. God's timing is not slow, it's strategic. He allows everything to seem late, so that when it arrives, it's undeniable. You are now in that undeniable phase. There will be moments in the coming hours when you will feel stillness, and in that stillness, your spirit will whisper that something is changing. Don't look for signs in chaos, look for peace. Peace is the proof of divine movement. When heaven is active, the chosen feel calm, because their spirit recognizes control. You don't need to chase what's already assigned. November 7th is your assurance that the promise has found you. The manifestation may take visible form soon, but the reality has already been stamped in heaven. God's command has gone forth, and creation must obey. You are living prophecy right now. This is not preparation anymore. This is fulfillment. And when the light of this day fades into night, remember this: what began today cannot be undone. You've entered a timeline where everything aligns with your divine purpose. This is not a temporary high, it's a permanent shift. You'll sense it in the way people treat you, in the sudden ease of things that once felt heavy, in the confidence rising in your chest, for no reason other than recognition. You finally arrived at the right frequency. November 7th will echo in your memory as the day everything started to make sense. It's when the storm quieted, the noise stopped, and your destiny spoke clearly. You were not waiting on God. God was waiting on this moment, and it has arrived. There is something sacred about the way this day unfolds, something that doesn't belong to ordinary time. November 7th holds a pulse that feels ancient, as if heaven itself had circled this date in light long before your birth. The stillness of the morning, the rhythm of the hours, even the way your thoughts seem sharper, all of it is part of a spiritual pattern converging toward you. You may not see the invisible threads, but they are woven into the air around you. This day is alive with divine coordination. God has written your name into the current of time, and as this current flows through November 7th, it touches everything connected to your purpose. You are not moving through the day. The day is moving through you, rearranging everything that once resisted alignment. Somewhere in the unseen, the weight of your endurance has triggered motion. Every prayer that once rose into silence now returns with form. Every tear that seemed to vanish into nothingness has been accounted for. Divine justice is not delayed, it is precise. November 7th carries the energy of answered prayers that arrive when your faith has matured enough to recognize their value. You may have once begged for the very thing you now calmly receive. That is growth. That is divine design. The universe never said no. It simply waited until you were strong enough to carry the yes. God saw your persistence. He saw you choosing to trust when trust cost you everything. He saw you refusing to curse your waiting. He saw you believing when belief felt foolish. And now, the waiting becomes evidence that you never lost connection with His promise. This is why this day is different. November 7th is not the beginning of something random. It is the harvest of years of unseen faithfulness. You are walking into fields that have been growing in silence. The seeds you forgot about have bloomed behind the veil. Your patience, your hope, your quiet resilience, all of it has been producing fruit you never knew existed. And as the sun rises over this day, those invisible gardens become visible. Suddenly, things start working without resistance. People show up at the right time. Conversations open unexpected doors. The energy around you becomes cooperative. You are not forcing it anymore. You are flowing with divine rhythm. That is how miracles behave. They don't push, they pull. They don't beg, they attract. You have become magnetic to what was meant for you. You may notice a certain ease, a calm certainty where fear once lived. That is the peace that follows divine confirmation. It's not that you know every detail, it's that you finally trust that God does. November 7th releases the burden of needing to control how things unfold. You have stepped beyond striving. Your spirit is no longer fighting for survival. It's expanding into destiny. There's a difference between living from reaction and living from revelation. Reaction is noise. Revelation is music. Today, the noise has stopped. What you feel inside you now is rhythm. The rhythm of divine timing matching the beat of your heart. The reason everything feels aligned is because it finally is. God has been preparing the world around you while He prepared the world within you. That's why nothing before today could last. It wasn't strong enough to hold what you carry now. November 7th marks the completion of an internal construction. Your mindset, your energy, your discernment, they've been rebuilt in silence. You may not have realized it, but you've been under spiritual architecture. God dismantled the false foundations so that He could rebuild you on truth. And now that the structure within you is ready, He can release the structure outside of you, the opportunities, the relationships, the resources, the platforms. The manifestation matches the foundation. What's coming now won't collapse because the version of you standing today is built to sustain it. Every chosen one reaches a threshold where divine timing demands action from the universe itself. That threshold is now. The light around you is no longer dim. It's radiant. That glow others may notice in you isn't imagination. It's spiritual visibility. Heaven has increased your brightness so that what belongs to you can see you clearly. November 7th amplifies your signal. You are broadcasting divine frequency, and everything in harmony with that vibration will recognize you instantly. That's why, in the coming days, new people will appear who seem to know you without introduction, who speak the language of your soul. They are part of the alignment, drawn not by coincidence, but by command. God is assembling your circle for the next chapter. There will also be those who sense your elevation and withdraw, not out of hatred, but because they can't breathe in the altitude where you now stand. You've outgrown certain atmospheres, and this day finalizes that separation. Don't mourn what leaves on November 7th. It's leaving because its role is complete. The divine never subtracts without intention. Space is being created for expansion. What exits today makes room for what has been waiting to enter. You don't lose. You exchange. You trade what was temporary for what is eternal. This is the sacred economics of destiny. God ensures balance through transformation. The next hours of this day are layered with opportunity, not in the ordinary sense, but in the spiritual sense. Watch how intuition guides you. Follow the small impulses that feel natural but precise. They are divine coordinates. You are being led toward evidence. You might feel an urge to check a message, take a walk, revisit an old idea, reach out to someone, and when you do, you'll realize why. It's not random. It's instruction hidden inside an instinct. On this day, heaven communicates in whispers, not thunder. God doesn't need to shout when your spirit is listening, and you are listening now. That's why you're here. That's why this message reached you exactly on this day.